In this lesson, we're going to start discussing color. If you'd like to follow along, go under the File menu to Open, and in the Sample Files folder, scroll down to 1301, Mixing Color. We're going to start by using the Color panel to mix colors. Why don't we go under our Window menu to Color, Color, to open the Color panel. Anytime you're mixing color, or creating color using swatches, you always want to select an object. And the reason is if you change anything in InDesign with no object selected, you're actually changing your defaults. So always select an object. Let's find the CMYK spectrum that we were seeing earlier. I'm going to click down on the Options menu and choose CMYK. One way to mix color is if you have an exact CMYK breakdown of the color you want to create. You could just go to your color sliders and match those CMYK specifications. So maybe I have a color that has a CMYK breakdown of 50% cyan and 24% magenta. That's a good way to mix colors. Now, the color panel itself is just for mixing colors. It doesn't save those colors. So if I were to click off of everything, the color goes away. That's one of the reasons that you always have to save your mixed colors as swatches. So if I go under my Options menu, I would go to Add to Swatches, and it's going to add that color to the bottom of the Swatches panel. Let me go back to my color panel. And let me go back to CMYK again. Another way that people mix colors is they'll use the CMYK spectrum. You can see when I go over the spectrum, I get a little eyedropper. And if I click and drag across that spectrum, all of my sliders are moving all over the place to create that color. Let me just choose something in the reds. Can I trust that the color I just mixed on my monitor is accurate to the way it's going to print? Absolutely not. And the reason for that is all monitors display colors differently. So you really can't trust what you're seeing on your monitor. Well, if that's the case, there must be other ways of creating colors for your layout that are much more accurate. And we will be talking about those ways of creating colors accurately in upcoming lessons. Another way that people will sometimes mix colors is they'll use something called the color picker. I'm just going to double click on my fill to get to the color picker. You can see that I can pick a color here. There's the color. If I would add the color, because I'm in a CMYK document and the color picker is RGB, the color that ends up in my swatches panel may not look anything like this. Just remember this beautiful bright color in my color picker. I'm going to click OK and now go into my swatches panel and look what I got. Not even close. So you really don't want to use your color picker to pick CMYK colors. The conversion could totally change the color when you go to CMYK. What if I wanted to pick a color from an existing photograph that I had in my layout? I'm going to go to my Zoom tool and just click and drag across these couple of rectangles, the one with the photograph and the one that's selected immediately to its right. And I'm going to go to my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click on one of the beautiful bright colors that's in one of the flowers, and let's see what happens. Well, this color is guaranteed to work with the image. That's something that's kind of cool in that now I can save a swatch that will definitely go with the colors in my photograph. So if I go either under the Options menu to new color swatch, or if I'm in my color panel, I can go under the Options menu to Add to Swatches. But you can see that this particular image happens to be RGB, So if I was working on a print document, of course, this would have had to have been converted to CMYK first before I pick my color. Because when it does get converted, it could just be dreadful. Let me go under my options menu to CMYK, and you can see it just totally died. It still kind of goes with the image, but it's not the same color that I thought I was getting. In the next lesson, we'll discuss other methods of picking colors with pinpoint accuracy, and also why it's so important to create and use swatches.